Boa tarde a todos. Aqui quem fala é o Lucas Vasconcellos, eu sou o diretor da Sinédoque, Festival Nacional de Documentários Curtos. Estamos na segunda edição, e nessa segunda edição nós temos a honra e o prazer de apresentar o programa alemão, a Mostra Não Competitiva, com 5 filmes que a gente está fazendo em parceria com o Instituto Goethe do Rio de Janeiro. Os 5 filmes que nós teremos esse ano são Ana, O Girador, 81 RPM, O Caminho da Felicidade, Vibração Interna e Heinz está fazendo um buraco num pedaço de terra. A gente vai ter a presença dos realizadores Roesler, Robin Trouillet, Cadenza, Zhao e Karsten, Krause. E agora a gente vai começar o nosso debate, que vai ser feito em inglês. So, everyone, really good to have you here. In this second edition of Sinédoque, we are having the German program in partnership with the Goethe Institute. So I'm really glad. It's an honor to have you all here. First of all, I'd like to say that I love all your films, really beautiful films, super stylish and, well, really well done. So it's a pleasure to have you all here. So I'd like to start this, if you could introduce yourself and talk about a little bit of your film. Can we start with Julia first?
Yes, of course. Yeah, thank you for inviting me. My name is Julia, and I'm part of a female collective of artists, female artists, and we are developing theater since more than 10 years, and we are like, I would say 3 years ago we started also to start with small film projects, and Anna is the 3rd short film we realized, and right now we are working on our first feature film. So this is like some, still feels like something new to do, or to work in films as well, because we are more used to realize big theater productions. And I think this is also something that is somehow that you can see within our films, that we are somehow theater people. And yes, now today we are presenting our film Anna, and this is about fat bodies and fat shaming. And we have a main character which is called Anna, and she's like a person, and she describes what happened to her during her life and what kind of experiences she made with her fat body.
Okay, really good. We can go back to that later. Robin, can you talk about yourself, your background, and your film, please?
Yeah, of course. First of all, thank you for the invitation. I'm the director of Turning Man 81 RPM. I'm a film student from southern Germany, and this film was also a project for the university, and we realized it in 2020 in 3 days. And it's a film, it's more a portrait about a loudspeaker inventor, about a dancer, and a really old person. But that's my project, and I'm presented today to you.
Great, thank you. Cadenza, can you share, please, with us?
Hi. Yes, hi. My name is Cadenza. I'm also a film student. I'm from Geneva, Switzerland, but I study in Potsdam and I live in Berlin. And my film is called Vibrations Inner Music. It was also made as part of the university first year project. And it's about the perception of sound and music of a deaf dancer. The protagonist is called Cassandra Weder, and she's from Munich, Germany. And the whole film is an immersive cinematic attempt trying to understand how she functions with her art, with her work, and it's trying to give the people who can hear a new perspective on how we perceive sound and music.
Really good, really good. Well done. Karsten, your turn now. Please, if you could share with us.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you for the invitation. My name is Karsten. I'm from Hamburg, Germany, and I'm more of a producer today, but I studied film at the art school here in Hamburg, and I made mostly documentaries, and but this like going on with like doing this kind of films which are very difficult to finance, let's say, and like make a living of it is like something I don't know, in Germany would say like you take your cab, you know. I mean, it's a very difficult and like a very difficult way to go, and but I still do some films, also some, but mostly like productions which are like don't go through all this like financing and so on. So this last film, der Heinz, der gräbt ein Loch in ein Stück Land, is like a dedication to direct cinema, very classical direct cinema, shot in one day, besides like the interview part with the brother of Heinz. Yes, which just like came up and organized in a very short period of time, and just like made a film like in between of like working on other film projects, being a producer. Yes.
Oh, really good. It doesn't look that it was produced in only one day. Looks a bigger project, but well done. So, okay, the question that I would like to start is, how did you first find out that you realized that you want to make this film? So, if you could start once again, Julia, what was the first thing that came up with your mind? How the idea first started? If you could talk about that now.
Well, maybe it's again important to know that this also wasn't planned as a film. It was planned as a theater performance, and due to the COVID circumstances, in a certain moment we had to decide that we cannot go on stage, and that it's not possible to have a live audience presentation, and this is why we decided, okay, it's better to make a short film. So we had several rehearsals, and during this rehearsal period we also started to shot some material, but this was basically planned to be used during the theater performance, and then we realized, okay, it's not going to happen. We don't have the time or the possibility to show this now in front of an audience, and this is why we decided to edit it to a film, to a short film. And I think in this time it's different reasons why we start to work on a specific theme. But at this time it was that we read a book from a fat woman from the States, and that was very interesting for us. Not only interesting but impressive, and we realized that we hadn't thought about what it means to live in a fat body, and how strong this hate against fat bodies is, at least in Europe. So I'm curious to know how you perceive this in Brazil. This is really like, I don't know, because I really don't know if this is the same in the whole world, but in Germany for sure, and mostly in Europe, I would say that there is a big, we have a big issue with fat shaming and behaving bad.
Yeah, in Brazil, I think everywhere is the same. Like media is always trying to bombing messages about how our bodies should look like or shaped like. So I think it's pretty universal idea of what is right, how to look like. So I think this is a very universal thematic. So I think that's a very assertive idea how to pick up the film. And I didn't know about this background about the theater project. So now that you're telling me this, it's easy to see how COVID has affected, because you film all the scenes are in open spaces, and she's lonely, and you can see that now I can see that were shot during the pandemic, and it makes sense. I didn't realize this at first, because I like the places that you pick in the forest and everything. It's so well done. So I couldn't imagine this at first, but well done. It's a good result. So Robin, please, how did you find such an amazing character, and how did you get access, and how did everything start to your film?
it started. I was at our favorite bar, also the cameraman and me, and we were at our favorite bar, and we were like brainstorming. Okay, we want to do a film, but we didn't really know what about the film should be. And after a few beers, he said he heard from somebody over an edge that there's a guy in Karlsruhe. It's also a town in southern Germany. Who goes to raves like the young people and is a loudspeaker inventor. And yeah, we just Googled it. I Googled it and I find his shop. And I called him the day after that. And we speak like 20 minutes. And then he said, yeah, just come by. We can talk about it. And yeah, we were there and he was really happy to make a portrait about him. And yeah, that was the plan. That's how it went. And yeah, I think 3 months later, we shot the film in 3 days. It was like the hottest summer in Germany, and we were playing frisbee and stuff. It was a really nice experience, and yeah, that's how it started, and that's how we found the character Jürgen Leppert.
So basically, you start the project drinking beers and you finish playing frisbee with your character.
Yeah, sometimes. In best cases.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. I mean, I think this it's pretty clear in the film that it's an easygoing film. The character seems really cool guy. I would love to have a beer with him or play frisbee as well. I think. Did the pandemic affected your film too, or no? You didn't have problems with that?
Yeah, a little bit, because the team, we were only 3 people. The team were only 3 people. It's me, the cameraman, and 1 assistant. And the problem was not the size of the team, but all the clubs, all the techno clubs, all the parties, did not happen. And so we had to make our own club in the studio of our university. And we installed the lights and something, that it looked like a club or something like that. And it would be really nice if we had a real crowd with people, a crowd or something like that, and he was dancing in this. So that was not possible in this time, but we tried.
No, yeah, it's a really good movie, really professional. It doesn't seem like a university film as well. As Cadenza as well, your film is really beautiful, really professional. And I would like to ask the same question. How did you meet your main character and how did everything went out?
Thank you. First of all, I wrote her on Instagram. Actually, I just DM'd her after I found her work, and it was not actually so easy because Cassandra, she has worked with TV, with other film crews before, and also student projects before. And but when TV did a portrait of her, she never felt empowered, and she didn't like the portrayals of her. So she didn't really want to have a portrayal of herself done anymore. And so I had to really be very consistent, and I reminded her every couple of weeks through Instagram until I presented her with more and more details. And then she in the end, she loved to be part of the project, and she's very happy with the film. But yeah, Instagram.
Well, that's nice. I mean, social media, it can be really useful for research, right? Internet in general. So yeah, but this is a nice thing for you to say, because when they go to TV shows, I think they give a very journalistic approach, and when you go for documentaries, you can have this more cinematic, the feeling you can give her more the experience of being that. And she's really unique because she dances while being deaf. So
yeah,
really
exactly.
amazing.
I mean, for her, the main thing was that the portraits that were made about her before kind of showed her as almost made her like some kind of exhibition thing, like, look at this special human, and she cannot do all these things even though she's deaf, as if deafness was something less that made her less than human. and that was a point that we had to really focus to try to not do that, and because we understood that through our work together that it's nothing less. It's actually it gives her something more than others don't really have, a better perspective and more abilities that we might never understand, but we have to just try to understand.
Sure, exactly. I mean, she is trying to send a message, I think, when she, as a deaf person, is dancing and having all this expressing herself in that way. I think she's really brave of her to do this. So yeah, and I think you got this in your film. So well done once more. So Karsten, what about you? How did you first got the idea of making this film? It's a very interesting film.
Well, as I mentioned before, I wanted to do something very fast and like shot in a very short period of time, like not with too much preparation, and like in this old-fashioned direct cinema way, where you kind of like just like, you know, you're going into something and just film it, and you don't have a lot of scenic preparations. And the people you see is the family of my wife. It's like 100 kilometers north of Frankfurt. It's Oberhessen. It's called Upper Hesse. That's how I say it in English, actually. And it's also an area which like I wasn't familiar with it at all. I'm from South Germany, but I live in Hamburg, which is totally up north. So I don't know. I mean, people know the regions like by dialects. I don't know. Everyone knows like Swabia. Everyone knows like Bavaria, and so on. But Upper Hesse has like a very particular kind of dialect, and I didn't know it, actually, totally not. And it's really, I don't understand anything, actually, if they talk very strong dialect. So I kind of had a feeling there that also time is in a, like I don't know, like the post-war German time is kind of conservated there in those villages. I like when I was the first time there, I really had the feeling like this smells so crazy like BRD here. It's everywhere on every corner. So I thought like, I want to do something here. I don't know what exactly it could be. And so the uncles of my wife, they have this fish pond with carps, which is like kind of a tradition which is not existing so much anymore in Germany, more in Eastern Europe, maybe like in parts of Franken, which is also a part of Germany. There's still some people do this professionally, like selling carps. And like the funny thing is that they take out like the water of the pond, like they if you like have like they take out the water and then they go in and they take the fish by hand. So they do this every some years. There it's like every 10 years more or less they do this. So I thought, okay, this is a very perfect opportunity to start thinking of this kind of like direct cinema thing, and we just planned to film this one whole day with everything around it, which means like, I don't know, go there, film this, and then after that they go to the restaurant or to the bar, and they have like drinks and like celebrate whatever they did. And I don't know if you know this film. It's like from very early documentary time from the 60s. It's called Le Cochon. It means pig in French, and they slaughter a pig in some village somewhere in South France, and it's just like this, you know. They just show this like whole process of like what exactly happens on that day. So this was kind of an inspiration, and from there it started, and everything else kind of came then after, like the poem. Yes, and maybe also this interview with the brother of Heinz, which is called Erich. Yes.
Okay, really good. It does really have this kind of day in the life style of film, you know. It's like the day passing by, and the way the community play with themselves, and I think it's really good. The first thing that got me in your film was the whispering voice of the kid. I said, well, this is a different way to put a voiceover. I mean, this I found really stylish, you know. I said, this is cinematic. I like this. And then I kept watching the film, and I said, okay, it's everything here. It's a part of Germany that I never heard of it. It does feel like a time machine, you know. You go to, doesn't have internet. You don't see a cell phone in the film or something like that. So I found really interesting, and I think, well, if I'm doing a German program, I think this film must be here, because I want to have this overall. Because when people think about Germany, they think about modern stuff and big engineering machines and stuff like that. But it's nice to have this rural catch, this folk people having a good time and working. So that's why I picked our film. To be honest, I thought it was quite unique. So I don't know if you had the chance to watch each other's films. I mean, if you watched, I'd love to know your opinion about the program and each other films. I'd love to hear about a little bit about what your opinion of it. Julia, if you want to start, if you had the chance.
Yeah, okay. I hope I will manage to do that. No, it was really funny to listen to your perspective, because for me it's not, I mean, what you right now, Lucas, described about Karsten's film, because for me it's quite familiar. So I would say I'm living like 50 kilometers from where you shot, probably. I'm living in the south of Lower Saxony, and I'm living at the countryside. I'm surrounded by these kind of people, and for me it's something that like really no, I mean, not this with the fish pot. So this, of course, not, and of course this is something traditional, and of course here are also living other people too, and it's like, so it's not that I want to make this smaller, not at all, but it's like simply not, it's really interesting to understand what this provokes, when you watch it. So and for me it was also that I like very much the voiceover, so the kid's voice in your film, and this like mystery thing, I would say, that you that you provoke with this, and this, that it was also fragile, and that also the poetic moments, like let's say with a goldfish or something, that it's that you understand that this is something that you found, and that you didn't made it, or it's nothing constructed. So what you described, that you wanted to make a film like direct cinema, I think this is really like really beautiful, like all these small details that you found, even without saying planning or something like that. So this is what I really liked a lot. So, and Cadenza, in your film, it was funny for me to watch it because I worked with Katrin, also the musician, one of the musicians, so I know her very well, and we work really close together. So it's always when you realize there's someone that it's even more interesting to watch it. This is what she worked also in, and maybe once during rehearsal she told us about yours, or I don't know, you also realize that it's such a small, somehow also small community. And I very much liked how music and the dancer, how they interacted, and how the musicians reacted on her, and also her in the city. These images I loved a lot. Like her, like directing the world, or I don't know. That was something that touched me, and I also like that it took so long until you explain somehow what's like the special thing with her. So that it was more that we had a lot of time to discover that. So this is really something.
Thank you.
That I like a lot. And Robin, of course, I mean, this is someone you like him immediately, and it's not just that you like this guy. You also think what you, Lucas, also said that you also would like to dance with him. That I wanted immediately to know more about his dancing technique. I wanted to understand it better, to try it at home. So this is what he provoked, that that's really sounds like a really cool technique, and there's something that's really interesting. So that was like what I would say the first feeling that I had. And also I thought, maybe we should try to buy this speakers, because that's so it was really like I was really like very in a very concrete way fascinated by him. And of course, I mean, it's always fascinating to meet people that resist against the society. I would describe it like that they to resist the laws of economics, and to stay with their own idea, and to give the whole life for something which is so much or so far away from let's say normal life, in a way of
Yeah, it's true. He's a rebel guy, right? He's a misfit. So I think this is his charm, actually. This is his main characteristic. And I don't know, what about you, Robin? What do you find about the other films? If you could share your opinion a little bit.
Yeah, I watched them all today, and I was really I liked them all because it was a really good mix. So it was that there was everything. There was films that are staged, like stage documentary, then there film like direct cinema, and maybe first I start with yours, Karsten. I really liked it that it wasn't staged. That it was like you said, it's like direct cinema. You go somewhere, you film it. You got only this time. You can not do it again, or something like that. Or you cannot say, okay, now you stand here and I make something with you, or something like that. That's really cool, because I also like to do that. Just to have the event, and at this time it have to be made, and then you have to make the best out of it. And that was really cool. And also, I also come from a really deep, small village, not like in Upper Hessen, but in Swabia. And I think I also know these village people. They're like doing like fishing or something, and then going to a drink, and they're playing guitar or something. And I like that, because they are not the same, but they have. I saw in them people something. I know some people that are like them. I think so, and I really liked it. And Julia, your film, I really liked that it was so completely honest. So she said everything. She was honest, and it was hurtful. And I also liked the forest. First, I didn't understand why the forest, why you choose the forest for it. But was it the pandemic, or was that the main reason?
I mean, due to pandemic reasons, we had to find a place where we could shoot it in a safe way. This, of course, but it was like I mean, we thought about several places and different places, and finally we decided to work with this forest, because we wanted to have somehow a space where she feels safe and not judged, and where it's like not possible to understand where she's from, in a way of saying, in a way like society perspective. That we wanted to like somehow not talk about where she's from, and that's not easy especially when you film in inside rooms. Almost all the time you try to analyze what this means also in a social content or context, and this is what we try to avoid. and therefore the forest was somehow a good spot. Yeah, that's mainly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like the idea, of course, because you have place, you can do whatever you want, and she does whatever she wants in this forest, and she has freedom. And yeah, I think that was a really good choice, and I liked about it. First, I didn't understand it, but now it's a lot clearer. But I also liked it in the film. And Cadenza, your film, of course, I like the perspective of her, and I think it wasn't always easy to get this perspective, because to make the cinematography, to make the sound, and I really like the development of the film. Like Julia before said, first of all, it does not explain everything right now, but it develops in the film, and I think it was a really nice tempo, yeah, to do it. And also the picture, I really like the picture and the emotions.
Thank you.
Cadenza, I would like to share your opinions, your thoughts.
Yeah, I watched them recently, but it's been a little bit of time. But I enjoyed them all very much, and like Robin said, it's a really great mix. And Julia, your film, I saw the forest as a going back to nature kind of, and like your raw, naked, true core, and how we as a nature actually just are one, but that in our everyday life we kind of tend to forget that. And I mean that's how I interpret it, and I thought it was so beautifully set in the forest. Like it felt so, it's honest, and it's really soft in a way, and I think very poetic, and I could totally see the whole theater. I mean, now that you said it, I didn't guess it when I watched it, but I can totally see it, and I think it would be. I mean, I don't know if you plan to do it into a theater piece still, but yeah, and it what goes through all the emotions, and like Robin said, very honest to show everything she feels, and it's a topic that is probably universal, but also so many. Is kind of has nuances depending where you are. I don't know in Brazil, but in Germany, I think yeah, it's quite something. And my parents are Chinese, but so I grew up in a very strong Chinese culture too, with a mix with Switzerland. But yeah, there's huge differences, but at the end of it, it's still I don't know. It's like the first thing that people mention, and I think it's a very important film to watch, at least. So it was really great. And Robin, I really enjoyed your film too. I thought yours was actually really beautiful too, and like the rhythm throughout, like the rhythm of the whole film that it took with the editing and the different little chapters. I thought that was really well paced and controlled, like the way that it was leading us through. I couldn't get enough of the character, and it was so fun. And also the way, I mean, just so awesome to have a character like this, because when he was speaking, I really and when he was saying about, oh yeah, just close my eyes, and I feel like to really fully experience it, and and when the way he was telling his stories, I could really almost imagine myself there with him, and that's quite that's really powerful, I think. And Karsten, I also obviously enjoyed your film a lot. It's a complete different I guess tone and style, but it was this whole mystery and this direct cinema style was so well put, and the whispering of this little girl was so completely sucked me into the story immediately. Yeah, very strong, very powerful. It's very in a really good way that the German aspect of it really came out through not only what we saw on screen, but also the style, I would say, of the storytelling. And I thought it was very nice and authentic.
Karsten, it's your turn to share your thoughts.
Yeah, like I don't have so much to add to what the others said. In like my thoughts when I was listening to you were like in general what like short film is able, like what you can tell through a short film in a very special kind of way is, I think, very important. Also that this like, you know, this it's I don't know how to say it, but I don't know, the subject you are working on, Julia, for example, it's a very important political thing also, and like short film has this possibility to do this in a very certain and specific way, and it doesn't have to be like this very big political like work. Now it's like you can do this in a very simple way, and I think this is something which like brings me back always, like to work still in short films and like do little things in another kind of way. This is, I think, what is very important to understand what is which is the, I don't say, it's a kind of an advantage short film has in comparison to like the more professional formats, let's say, in general. And this is like something which I always come back to. So and then also like what's also very important in the presentation of short film is like bring a program together. So this is like a question for you. Like I'm always very interested, like how does like this short film program get together? If you go to all these festivals, they all have like different ways to bring this like a subject together. Sometimes they just have it like, okay, we want to like have a big mix up of any kind of films, or there are others like they go more like and concentrate on something. And sometimes I'm sitting in a program and I think like doesn't work at all. Like I don't understand why my film is here. Sometimes it works very good. And so this is for me always something I ask the programmers, like, how does this come? Like, why is this now a German program, for example?
It's a good question. Yes, a good question. So first of all, it came as an opportunity because here in Rio de Janeiro, we have the Goethe Institute, and the Goethe Institute from Rio de Janeiro is one of the oldest in the world. It's like 65 years old. So yeah, I got a connection there. Last year we had the French program in partnership with the French embassy. And I thought, well, it seems quite natural to have a German program now because we have the Goethe Institute here. And they were really supportive. So I thought, okay, let's do this. Of course, Germany has a big history in cinema, lots of talent, and this is going to be a good program. Of course, I was really enthusiastic from the beginning. And then how I put everything together, I just start watching films, and my first thought was, I want the films that I like most. I want the films that it's easy to watch, it's good to watch, I have fun, or it bring me good feelings. I don't want to struggle to watch like a 15 minutes film that it looks like an hour. All your films just pass by really easy, you know. So, and this is something because sometimes documentary films goes into a cliche that they should be like a history class film, geography film, you know, boring and dull. And I think your films all have like this cinematic catch. They're very stylish. I think all your films have this musicality, which I think really interesting, and all the 5 films. And I thought, okay, so when I start picking up by heart, by my feelings, and I put all the 5 films together, I thought, okay, it makes sense. They complement each other. They have like, they touch in contemporary issues like Julia's films, Cadenza films. I think these films talk about human rights, bodies, shapes. People want to be the way they want to be. And also the Tia films, it's a pity that she's not here because I think Tia's film has a direct connection with Julia's film. It's about body hair in women, especially, of course. And so it's how you choose to be in, and you don't need to wait other people to accept you in any order. I mean, so I don't know if I'm going a bit far away from the original question, but yeah, I just quite followed my heart, So because here we have 50 films in the Brazilian program, so we got like 200 submissions. It's a bit more difficult, when the films come to you, and in the German program is the opposite. I go for the film, so I feel that I have a little bit more freedom to pick up the films and put everything together as a puzzle that makes sense. And I'm quite happy with the result. And I'm happy that I heard you saying that the panorama makes sense. So yeah. So with that being said, I would like to add one more question. It's about exactly short documentaries, because this is a short documentary film festival, and I believe deeply that this is the most democratic way of making cinema. So anyone can, with a small camera and a software, make a film. So I'd love to ask you if you have any other projects, if you want to keep shooting films like this, or anything else to say. Because, for example, I know Cadenza film went to Hot Docs in Toronto, right? It's a big festival. All of you, I think, went to other film festivals. So I think it's nice that you have shot your film in the university, and then you are in the middle of the big lions. I don't know. So I don't know if you could say something about the format. I would love to hear you. Can we start with you again?
With me? Yes. This is what you said, yeah?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Well, talking about short films, I think what I really like about short films is that they are short enough to do something else after watching them. So no, it's I think this is maybe also what you tried or what you described, Karsten, but I'm not sure. Actually, I'm not sure if I really got what you wanted to express. But for me, let's say, as part of this collective and as someone who's always trying to work on political issues, or issues that I think that they are important to be discussed in a biggest audience, or that they or very often also that we think that we talk about topics that they don't have the audience they should have. So this is, and we experienced that this really works very well with short films, because it's as you said, you have half an hour. It's enough time to understand several things, or quite a lot of things, and afterwards you have the time to organize discussions, or to organize exchange in which way ever, and to have something. But it's not like enough time to really develop characters in such a complex way that somehow the story is too complex to understand, or that it's somehow how to describe that. But I think you all understand what I mean. That like
Totally.
If you have a 90 minutes film, then it's really, the story has to be so complex that afterwards it's not that easy to get the point. And of course I also try not to make the short films too simple. I think also it's important that short films have their own complexity, and that they are not like easy to eat. No, I don't know how you say that in English, but it's still that they have also things that somehow wake you up in a different way. But it is possible to bring an idea to people and afterwards to open this. And this is what happened very often with our films, that afterwards we were invited to discussions with politicians and other people to really say, okay, and what's the next step, or also with just normal audience. But this is something that is very important for me, and that's for that short films work very well.
Sure, it makes sense a lot. Robin, would you share your ideas?
Yeah, I'm also really interested in short films. I made 2 short films before, and I will continue to make short films or short documentaries. My next project is a middle-length film. It's fictional, but I'm also looking for a short documentary project, or maybe it's about skating in Palestine. And what's so nice about short projects or short films or short documentaries is that you can give them a lot of energy in a short time. So you don't have to stretch it. You don't have to look for how to I get this, how to get to this point where you said, okay, if this film is 10 minutes or 5 minutes, then it is 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and you don't have to like stretch it and give him more, and then it just it's not real. You can, like Julia said, you can go to the point. And what I find really refreshing at film festivals or at short films in general, that there are so many topics, and you can tell topics at like unbelievable ways. It's not every time is something new, but most times. And I'm also, when I'm going to a film festival and I saw the program and it was good, as like, yeah, I'm really inspired by it, and I'm really impressed how many topics there are and how people can tell them in such a short time. And for some subject, I think it's the right length and it's the right form to film it. And I think short films is sometimes underrated, I think, for the general people. But if you show them a short film, like people never see a short film before, sometimes they really like it and they want to see more. And yeah, I like this form and I will do it again.
Really good. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think to find out the correct duration of the film, it's challenging, because you don't want to stretch it too much, and otherwise you don't also want to make it so short that you don't have a clear idea of what it is about. So, yeah, I think it's a difficult skill. Cadenza.
One simple thing, sorry. For this, I just remembered it. We had for my film, for Turning Man, we had 4 hours of interview.
Wow.
And yeah, it's just like it's 40-minute film. And we could make a 40-minute film or some more, and more of his life and his stories. But we decided to just cut it down.
Sure. Yeah, and nowadays with the digital equipment, you can keep recording forever. So yeah, it's challenging to decide what you're going to put outside the film, as difficult as to decide what's going to be inside the film. I think this is interesting. Cadenza, please.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So for your question, I love the format. It's my first time trying a documentary. I've made more before, only fiction, and since this film, actually, I've continued doing fiction. But before making this film, I had a complete different idea of documentary, and I'm glad to say that this experience completely changed my perspective on it, and I would definitely do it again. Like Karsten put it before, I think perfectly, is that like short films, it's such a specific. There are so many stories that can only be told in a short format. Otherwise, I mean, depending on the story, but I think otherwise it would just be, there's stories that just wouldn't be interesting in the long format, and they're totally underrated, and which is a shame, but it's great that there are festivals like Sinédoque like doing this. Yeah, so I'm focusing on more fiction now, but I always have my mind open for a documentary topic.
Great. Wow. If this is your first film, you just started really well. Your first documentary, you started really well. So good. Karsten, you want to add something more?
Yeah, like maybe on top of the thoughts on short film, in short film, it just can stay also just like an idea of something, and that's it. Just like a short, like a small idea. It doesn't have to get so concrete, and it's more easy to speak on like it's a more easy format to speak about like very serious stuff also, but doesn't mean that you have to make films just like about very serious stuff. But in general, I think it's like a more open format with more freedom in general. So like considering my own projects, there's like as I mentioned before, I'm working more as a producer now, but we are also produce short films, and with some of those filmmakers, like I work very close together. For example, like also that I don't know, we work on the film not just by talking about the development of it or something, but I also do the camera work or something like that. So there are several like short film projects I'm working on, but like that I'm doing like as a director a new film. There's nothing so far. It's like I have one idea, but this will be like a feature length film, also like a documentary. I made like 3 films about like archives, private archives, and with a friend of mine who also made like this found footage films. Maybe 10 years ago, we have an idea for a new film, which will probably be finished maybe in 10 years or something. So, so I don't have this kind of pressure. Like when I was like finishing studying, was like I had this pressure. Like every year I have to find a new subject. We need to make a new film and so on. I don't have this anymore. I'm going to make a film one day for sure, but it doesn't matter if it's next year or in 2 years or in 5 years. The time will come, let's say. So
yeah, it's good to hear that. I mean, you do the film that you want to make, so this is the most important. So guys, we almost have 1 hour of conversation. I would like to start to say goodbye, and I appreciate your time. Thank you very much, and thank you for your films. Congratulations once more. It's great talent, great films. And we are going to be showing them at Sinédoque for 10 days straight in our VOD platform here in Brazil. And I would like to thank the Goethe Institute for the support and the partnership. So yes, if you want to say something else, for me, it's great. Thank you. I don't know, choose.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, guys. Ciao.
Goodbye.
See you
Bye-bye.
soon.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you.